Everybody wanna win, but do you got what it takes? Would you better own it? Everybody wanna win, but do you got what it takes? Everybody wanna win, everybody can't do. I'm zoned. Everybody wanna win, but do you got what it takes? Everybody wanna win, but do you got what it takes? Would you better own it? Everybody wanna win, but do you got what it takes? Everybody wanna win, everybody can't do. I'm zoned. Everybody wanna win.
Welcome to the Co-Strat Show.
What up, what up, what up? And thank you for joining us on this special night. It is election eve, Monday night, and it's a special night for us. We have a special guest, Miss Andrea Diggs, Councilwoman candidate for the Newport News Central Division. We'll have her on, but I can't get the evening started without my co-host, that man AJT. What's up, my guy?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed, man. I cannot complain, man. Quick shout outs, man, before we get to our special guest, man.
God, Bree, Mom, Neptune's, Brother Hoopy, Primerica. Appreciate y'all.
Much better, Stats. Last week you was a little long-winded.
And you didn't let me hear the end of it either.
I'm proud of you, man. Under 30. That's what we want. Under 30, man. Big shout out to the family, man. Big shout out to Relentless Sports, Virginia Neptunes, Brotherhood Hoop League, Number Street Podcast. Big shout out to everybody that is watching on Facebook, YouTube, and I tried to get Instagram, but it wasn't working. So just hop right over to Facebook. Y'all owned by the same people anyway. Just hop right on over and watch us right here live on Facebook, man. But without further ado, let us welcome our special guest, Miss Andrea Diggs. She is running for the Central District in Newport News for the City Council seat. And we are honored to have her here tonight. Everybody welcome Miss Andrea Diggs.
Thank you.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm well. I appreciate you all inviting me.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor to have you on. It is an honor to have you on. Well, Miss Diggs, Miss Hainsworth Diggs, there you go, Miss Arlene. How you doing? There go my buddy right there. Now, Miss Diggs, start by telling the people a little bit about yourself and why you're running for the Central District seat for the Newport News City Council.
Sure. So again, my name is Andrea Diggs. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I have a therapy practice in Newport News, right in the Central District. I also run a nonprofit working with people with disabilities. I decided to run for city council because I've always been dedicated to serving my community. I believe that this is just the natural next step in my journey of public service. I've been serving my community for almost 20 years. I work with individuals as a therapist, and in my nonprofit, I work with people who are struggling, and I get to see firsthand the challenges and things that they're facing. And so I decided to run for this open seat for Newport News City Council. The person that's presently occupying the seat is retiring. And so I thought this would be a perfect time for me to enter into put my hat in the race.
Nice. Now, can you tell everybody, because I found it amazing through just questioning, just asking people questions today, that a lot of people don't know what the Central District is. Okay, please educate the viewing audience. What is the Central District for Newport News?
So I'll try my best. So Newport News is, and I know, some of us, I'm from Hampton, and having moved to Newport News from Hampton, for example, it was a little bit weird because Hampton is different. It's what's called at large. So Newport News is broken down like some of our larger cities into districts. The purpose of that is to make sure that different areas, whether it's the downtown or the south areas or the north areas, that different areas have adequate and equitable as much as possible representation. And so Newport News is broken down into 3 districts. Each district has 2 representatives on city council for a total of 6. So we have the South District that goes up until about J. Clyde in Newport News, if you're on Jefferson. And then Central starts about J. Clyde on Jefferson, and then it ends about Bland and Denby Boulevard. If you're on Warwick, it ends at Bland. If you're on Jefferson, it ends at Denby Boulevard. And so everything after that is the North District. So just about the middle of the city is the Central District.
Right. So basically, you got the middle of the city all the way to what we call Uptown.
We call it something different. I have a question for you, and again, thank you for coming on, Ms. Diggs. Can you let people know what's a day in the life of someone running for? I think, I don't know if people fully grasp. Like, could you let people know, like, in what a day looks like for you, like when you're running for city council?
So every day is different. But what I think a lot of people don't realize is that much of life, especially if you're someone like me, someone that doesn't necessarily have the greatest of resources, or who doesn't have, the big names behind me. So for someone like me, on the one hand, regular life doesn't stop, right? I'm still a mom, so I'm still taking care of business. I'm still going to work. And then on the other hand, it's meeting people. So a day in the life, if it's a weekend, I'm doing a lot of knocking on doors, getting out, meeting people, talking about myself over and over. Someone in a campaign such as this has to get used to speaking about themselves, their successes, and like you all asked, what made you run? And so it's a lot of communicating with folks, getting to know people. It's a lot of answering questions. It's a lot of things people don't know. We get, as a candidate, you get a lot of questionnaires from multiple people, so trying to keep up. So time management is extremely important for someone. So a day in the life, it can look a lot of different ways, but it mostly includes getting out, getting to meet people, being available to answer questions, whether it's phone, email, completing a lot of documents, sending it out, trying to make sure that the news has what they're asking for, different organizations asking for things.
Okay. That sounds busy.
Very busy.
You're handling things very well.
Thank you.
But let's get into your platform. What is your platform, and what are you running? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you advocating for? What are some things that you're trying to get done?
Okay. So as I stated before, I'm a therapist. I provide mental health outpatient therapy. And I also run a nonprofit working with people with disabilities. And so my platform centers around some of the main things that I'm seeing in both of those capacities: housing, transportation, public safety, of course, and then economic development. Of course, as a licensed clinician, I'm a licensed mental health provider. I tend to want to focus on these issues and understand how they're deeply connected. And mental health and overall well-being is important. So as a trauma therapist, I understand that when people face economic hardships, whether it's struggling to find decent employment, working multiple jobs to provide for their families, or facing housing costs that are rising, their mental health suffers. If I don't feel good, am I going to be good in the community? If I'm working 2 and 3 jobs to pay my bills and to take care of my family, then what are my kids doing? Because they're now probably unsupervised. If my kids are unsupervised, where are they? Are they out in the community? Are they committing crimes? Are they learning new skills? And are they going to school now, misbehaving? And just so understanding. Again, as a clinician, I've learned to think really deeply about certain issues. Critical thinking is important to the work that I do. And so I want to bring that to council. We're seeing a lot of things in our community: rising cost of living, particularly again in housing, where both lower and middle class families are struggling. And so that's a big thing for me. Going back again to public safety, we're seeing as recently as last week or a few days ago, someone was shot and killed in Newport News. And so recognizing that we have a long way to go in those areas, those are my platform, things that I'm trying to address on my platform, as far as my platform.
Thank you for answering that. I would ask, Because mental health is very important. I tell people all the time, my therapist is my professional best friend, and I'm a big advocate for that. On another note, like what struggles have you encountered trying to navigate the system that is politics and trying to get your vision on board with everything? What struggles have you encountered? If you're able to say, I don't want to.
So being for me, being someone with the work that I do, naturally as a clinician, a lot of the work that I do is HIPAA protected, right? So people don't necessarily see me doing much of the work that I've done. And so my biggest struggle has been visibility. I've had some local folks or some of the cliques to say, oh, we don't know you well enough, or where have you been? Well, I've been doing this work almost 20 years. And so for me, the biggest piece has been, again, visibility. I've chosen to confront that barrier by getting out and actually meeting residents, constituents of Newport News, and the people that matter and the people that have votes. But I think my biggest challenge has been folks saying, well, we don't know you well enough.
Yeah, as someone that's had that same issue in this area, as far as people not knowing you well enough, well, people choose to know who they want to know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And sometimes that means the people who are actually doing a lot of the leg work and the dirty work or the grunt work of the city go overlooked. And your track record, I'm learning more and more about you, is speaking for itself if you just open up your eyes and look.
I appreciate that.
So, yeah, I want to say congratulations to you on that, and just, continue to fight regardless of how this turns out. I want you to continue to fight and just let you know that your work is appreciated on all fronts, especially coming from us. Because I've been there and I'm still there from time to time. As a mom, let's start with a little parenting right here. As a mom, how is it dealing? When you got kids. Are your kids younger, older?
I have a 20-year-old. My 20-year-old is a junior at the College of William and Mary, and then I have a 10-year-old, fifth grader.
Okay. So, as a parent, speaking about the young one, how is it navigating politics, and you have young kids that you have to still raise on a daily basis, and you get out there, and you were just talking about kids. Sometimes you're so busy that the average parent is now leaving their kid at home. So what are some of the things that you personally are doing to circumvent that? And what are some of the things that you would like to do to start to change that for parents?
So as a parent, right, family is extremely important to me.
Absolutely.
Family values, and I consider myself extremely blessed because I have a great support system. Wherever I drop the ball, there's somebody that picks it up. With my family. And so I've been really, really blessed and fortunate enough for that. I will say, when I first decided to enter the race, I had someone pretty prominent say, oh, you have a young kid, you won't be able to do it. Well, I mean, a lot of times my kid has been with me. My kid has been, as a matter of fact, during early voting, I didn't vote until the first day of Saturday voting, which was 2 Saturdays ago, so that I could bring my kid with me. And so my kid has been out there passing out flyers, telling he can give you the whole spiel. My mom is this and that. And it's been a great learning experience. And it's something that I've been doing even with my daughter, not in my own personal campaign, but since she was a little girl, she's been volunteering on other people's campaign. And so that, I think, is a plus that we don't necessarily remember, because these kids are learning a lot. I have a 9-year-old niece who's been on the campaign trail, and a lot of folks would say to me, you got my vote because of her. She gave me the spiel. And so the good part about it is that it's teaching these kids something. It's teaching them values. It's teaching them hard work, and it's teaching them public service. And so I'm grateful. Again, I have complete support from my family. If I'm running late or something comes up, or I got a forum in the evening, I can call my mom. I can call my son's dad. I can call my daughter and say, hey, can you pick him up from school? And they got it. And so I'm blessed. I recognize that there's some folks that don't have that. But I do. I'm fortunate enough to have that support.
That's awesome, man.
Are you nervous? Like how are you feeling? Because I can't imagine it. Like if there's some anxiety, like you put all this work into it, and then you put all the work, and then it's really out of your control at that point. So
Yes, I'm very nervous, and there's lots of anxiety, right? But it's not for like a win or a loss, because either way, for me, a win is a win. If I'm not elected to council, it's not a loss for me, to be honest. It's a loss for the city, because if you look at my resume compared to the folks that I'm running against, it's clear who's the best candidate is if you look at my credentials, my experience, and the work that I've done. And so for me, a win is a win. I've met so many wonderful people. I've met, I got people saying, are you accepting new clients? I've had to now close my wait list. I've been operating off of a wait list for months, even prior to getting into this, but now I have to close that and can't even accept new clients. So a win is a win for me. But however, I am nervous because this is all still very new, getting out, talking to people. I'll be completely transparent. 20 minutes before this, I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to do it. And so going to forums, I'm getting extremely nervous because I'm usually a behind the scenes person. I'm not this great public speaker and all that. So there's lots of anxiety and nervousness about that, not necessarily about a win or lose, because again, I know that I'm the best candidate. So if I'm not elected, it's not a loss for me, it's a loss for the city of Newport News.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
I love it.
Look, I'm thoroughly enjoying this. What would you like to tell last minute voters before they head out to the polls in the morning?
I would probably like to tell last minute voters that it's really important to do your research. To do your research and make the best decision for you when you're voting. But about me, I have a lot of diverse experience that makes me the best candidate. I am committed to public service. As the only woman in the race, I offer a crucial and often underrepresented perspective as, again, the only woman. So representation matters. I've done a lot of advocacy for vulnerable populations. That's exactly what I've been doing for many, many years, whether it's experience with at-risk youth, individuals with mental health needs, people with disabilities. I have proven that I'm dedicated to supporting the most vulnerable members of our communities. Again, I have a focus on my family and education. I take that extremely seriously. My daughter is at the College of William and Mary on a full scholarship. My son is doing well where he is. I'm also a small business owner, and so I understand some of the needs that business owners or some of the issues that business owners are facing. I get to see firsthand some of the challenges facing business owners. And then I have a holistic approach to governance. I understand that it takes a lot. I'm the only person on the ballot that's actually licensed and trained, licensed by the state of Virginia to assess both individual needs and community needs. I think that's important. So all these things about me are what I believe make me the best candidate. And I'd hope that last minute voters would be able to do that research and see those things, understand those things about me, and make the best decision.
Got my vote.
Thank you.
Got my vote.
But you told me you were in Hampton, so thank you.
Hey, look, I'm going to Newport News. Somebody go get this vote. Thad, you got any more questions for our lovely guest?
No, just thank you for taking the time, and I wish you continued success. I mean, it already sounds like, you're successful in all aspects of life. So this is just adding another to it, but I wish you continued success, and thank you for taking the time with us, Ms. Diggs. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you all for having me.
Yes, Ms. Diggs, we are definitely behind you, and look, we're rooting for you, man. So to all our viewers in the Newport News area, in the Central District, make sure you get to the polls and cast that vote. Andrea Diggs, Councilwoman candidate, Newport News Central District. Thank you again for coming on, and hopefully we'll have you on again soon as a Newport News council person.
Hopefully. Thank you all so much.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, Stats. Man, that was a good interview, man. And
It was. It
man,
was.
I'm definitely rooting for her, man. Like she said, man, she was the only person that's running that's licensed, you know what I'm saying, in the state of Virginia to assess not only individuals, but as a whole. Like
Right. Cool.
that's big. Look at that.
That's
But
love right there.
that's what it's about right there, man.
That's love right there.
That's what it's about right there, man. Yes, that man. So that's local. Listen, all you people out there, man, make sure you guys vote. I know the big stuff, the national stuff gets, bombarded on you and pushed down your throats, man. But the local races are the things that affect you on a daily basis, man. So make sure you go out and vote and cast your vote for the people that's in your local area, man. And you got to do your part, man. So when things ain't going your way and you didn't do your part, I don't want to hear it. Straight up, I don't want to hear it because you put these people in place to basically control or help you or not help you, assist you, you know what I'm saying, in your daily lives, man. So here's the last presidential update, and then we'll move on from all of this Trump and Kamala Harris stuff, man. So here it is. Enjoy the vid.
Here's what she says on The View. Remember, her whole argument of her campaign is that she doesn't even know who Joe Biden is, even though she's a sitting vice president. And The View host asks her, what would you have done differently over the last 4 years? Would you have done anything differently than Joe Biden? And Kamala Harris says, nothing comes to mind. Nothing. Well, ma'am, that's right. The Harris Waltz slogan could be, nothing comes to mind. Think about this. Kamala, what would you do to fix the broken policies to make groceries and housing more affordable? Nothing comes to mind. Kamala Harris, what would you do to secure that southern border? Nothing comes to mind, right? That's what Kamala Harris's campaign slogan could be. But in that moment, she revealed that she is not who she says she is. She's been going around the country for the last 3 months, promising that she's going to fix what she herself broke. She's been going around the country saying that she's somehow going to lower the price of groceries, even though she cast the deciding vote on trillions of dollars in new spending. She's been going around saying that she got religion about border security a few months ago, even though she's been the border czar at a time of a historic open border. And so our message to Kamala Harris is, we don't believe that you're the candidate of change. We don't believe what you say you're going to do. We believe what you've done for the last 3.5 years, and you are fired. Go back to San Francisco, where you belong. We don't need you in the Oval Office.
Well, it's so much mudslinging, man. And with all the mudslinging, man, you get away from the real topics at hand, bro.
But that's what all of that's intended to do. That's what all of that's intended to do.
We do, as a country right now, man, we do have some very serious issues that need to be addressed. And I feel like neither one of these candidates are really addressing the issues.
But I think the problem, though, is that we're not a monolith as a people or even as a race.
Right.
And there's just so many issues that need to be addressed. You fix those issues, other ones pop up. I think one of the bigger issues, obviously, is the economy.
Yes.
Right. And I think
the economy is big, and also immigration. Immigration is big as well, man. Just certain things just have to be addressed and worked on, and they got to do what's best for the entirety of the country, not just a certain selection of the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, do what's best for the entirety of the country, man. As much as people don't want to admit it, everybody that's living in the United States of America, you're an American. Like, let you don't have to admit that, but that's what it is, man. You're an American, and right now, America, I mean, we ain't looking too hot, man. We're not looking too hot. We're looking very unorganized and divided. And when you're unorganized and divided, that's when people try and usually succeed in attacking you. So,
Yep.
like I said, man, people that's in the United States, man, make sure you guys are prepared and do your research, do your homework, and cast your vote accordingly to the things that can help you and your family succeed, man. There we go. Yep.
I couldn't have said it better myself. I just, again, man, it's just mudslinging is the word, because I was gonna say something else, but I'm not. So we'll just use mudslinging. That's the perfect word for it. And again, but the biggest issue to me is that the mudslinging distracts a lot of people from what the actual issues are, because politics divides people, right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
you end up, it's very tribalistic. There's a lot of tribalism in it. So instead of addressing what the actual issue is, you end up addressing other things that aren't as important. So I would just ask people, whoever you vote for, that's your preference. Just don't get caught up in the tribalism. That's all. Just don't get caught up in the tribalism.
Yeah. And again, man, people have their preferences, man, and that's fine to have your preference. However, do your research. You know what I'm saying? Don't vote Democrat because your mom and your grandma voted Democrat. Don't vote Republican because your mom and your grandma and your granddad voted Republican. You know what I'm saying? Like, do your research and do what's best for you and your family. And another thing that I don't like, and I keep hearing this, well, if you don't vote for Kamala, you're you know what I'm saying? Like,
I hate that. Listen.
What is that, man?
God, I hate that. Sorry, God.
What is that, man? Like,
I don't like that.
I don't like that, man. I don't like it. So, I ain't gonna get too deep into that because I try not to talk politics. People get bent out of shape. People get bent out of shape. Two things people get bent out of shape about, man. That's politics and religion. So I try to stay away from those topics, man, as much as I can. But here it is, national election. Tomorrow is election day. Make sure you get out and at least vote for the local people, man, because those are people that's going to be right there with you in the trenches day in and day out. So make sure you at least do that. Stats, any final thoughts on the election before we move on to our
No. Bree's out of school tomorrow, so I get to spend a day, some more time with her. So I'm happy about that. Other than that, no.
Yeah. No. I agree with you, boss. I agree with you. So we had a little drama in Toronto, ladies and gents. DeMar DeRozan and Drake had a little situation.
Yeah.
So basically, Drake and DeMar have, I guess, some beef or whatever, based around the whole Kendrick Lamar Drake rap beef that went back and forth. And DeMar, who was formerly a Toronto Raptor for 10 years or so, I don't know.
Well, yeah, 2009 to
18,
19,
17,
18, 19, something like that.
He's arguably one of the best Raptors to ever have put on that jersey.
Yeah, he got a lot of franchise records over there.
Yeah. He was in the Kendrick Lamar video, dancing and so on and so forth or whatever. So it gives the appearance that he has sided with Kendrick Lamar. And Drake says that if they ever put his jersey, DeMar DeRozan's jersey, in the rafters,
which they should,
that he will climb up and take it down.
DeMar responded and said he's gonna have a long way to go. Tell him good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Listen, Drake has a right to his emotions. That's how he feels, right? That's how he feels. And I'm not, you can't tell a person how they should feel. For those who don't know, DeMar DeRozan was born in Compton.
Yep.
So that's the home team. Now, you're not gonna always be cool with everybody from the home team, but it seemed like him and Kendrick Lamar had a relationship.
Yeah.
Drake and DeMar DeRozan developed a relationship while he was in Toronto, and DeMar DeRozan even said, "Yeah, that's still my guy." Drake obviously doesn't feel that way, and that's fine. I think I didn't look at it as him taking a side. I looked at it as him repping his hometown. That's
Absolutely.
how I looked at it. I didn't think that he was trying to, you know what I mean? Because I look, you can dance to the song because you like the song.
Yeah.
You don't got to be. You ain't got to be supportive of what Kendrick Lamar, the lyrics of what Kendrick Lamar said. That was a moment.
Yeah, it was a bop
for West
That's
Coast.
What kids say. It was a bop.
It was right. It was a bop, and that's a moment for the West Coast, like the
Yeah,
pop out
absolutely.
video. You know what I mean? But again, Drake has every right to feel that way. I'm not saying he can't. He unfollowed LeBron too, because LeBron was there. A lot of people, you know what I mean? A lot of people. I just don't like. That's not something that I'm going to pick a side over. That's my mentality on it. I'm not picking a side over that. There are other things that I would pick a side for, not that one. I'm not stepping out there for that.
I agree with you on that, man. The whole situation to me seems a little bit more sensitive on the Drake side, but again, he's entitled to his feelings. This is where DeMar is from, bro. This is his home. I'm positive he still has family here. Like, you can't go against the home city when they rolling like that. Like, that is a moment, like you said, a moment for West Coast rap.
Yep.
It's a moment for South Central LA, moment for Compton. You're like, and that's your home. You gotta at least stand up and support that in some way, shape, or form. And he showed his support by getting in the video and dancing and getting on that stage during the show and showed his support there. Look, I don't have no issue with DeMar, and Drake need to get over it. And the fact that him and his antics, him and his homeboy sitting there first of all, he's standing up during the game, just ice grilling DeMar during the game. Listen, bro, if I was DeMar, I'd have just pushed whoever that was closest to him right into them. I just gonna take me a personal foul, man.
Well, this was after the game, and Drake said it when he walked away. So DeMar couldn't have done that. And I'm glad he didn't do that. Also, and this has kind of been the thing for a while, DeMar DeRozan is not called Debo for no reason.
I know that's right.
That you know.
No, facts though. They say that, man. There's certain people in the NBA that really got them things on them.
That really there's certain people you just got to leave alone. And DeMar DeRozan is universally respected by his peers.
As one of those guys. Him and the other dude that would play for Miami. What's the dude named Johnson? Him. It's another one though that had the crazy neck tat.
Oh, James Johnson.
James Johnson.
Yeah. It's just certain people, man. You just expect DeMar don't bother nobody.
He don't bother nobody, man. He does not.
You know what I mean? Like, he's a real. He seems like, and in the podcast and the interviews I've seen, like, he came out with the mental health stuff and how stuff was really bothering him, and that really opened up that conversation. Him and Kevin Love did that. Yeah. That's a big thing, man. And again, he just leave DeMar alone, man. Like, I don't understand. Like, there's certain people you can mess with, but from what people who are way more plugged in than us say, that's not one to mess with.
I agree with that, man. 1,000%, man. I don't. Yeah, Drake got to move on. He got to move on from that one, man. Let that one go. In other NBA news, the Bucks are a dumpster fire.
Here we go.
And they are a dumpster fire because of this dynamic duo right here.
Y'all can't see that what that says, but there it is. Now you can see it. They call them an Avengers level threat. So they're basically calling them Thanos. Bro, that is insane, dog. They're calling him Ultron. Bro, what?
Bro, this is bad, bro. This is bad. 5 straight losses.
They're losing right now too. Giannis is out.
God. Oh, man.
Yeah, they're losing right now.
What?
Well, actually, no, Milwaukee's winning by 2. I take it back. Now it's tied. Cleveland just tied. It's 94-94.
94-94. What's going on, man, in Milwaukee, man?
It's a multitude of things, honestly. Do you want? I'm gonna get a coach's, I'm gonna give that view. I'm gonna give an actual basketball view.
No Giannis tonight, by the way.
Right? No, you're right. Giannis is out tonight. Giannis and Dame aren't the best fit. I was wrong there. I thought they would fit better when they came together. They're not the best fit. Dame is pretty ball dominant. He's a point guard. Most point guards are, because that's who usually runs the offense.
Right.
Giannis, surprisingly, does not play off the ball as much as you would expect him to.
Correct.
He's not the best off-ball player. He hasn't been willing to play that way. I say it all the time, and people kill me for it. He should play more like Anthony Davis instead of trying to be the primary ball handler like LeBron. He don't have the offensive versatility for that. And that doesn't make it a great fit. That front office put a non-athletic old team around them. And they're primarily to blame. That team around them is not good. And Doc Rivers has not shown in recent history to be the best to get guys to coalesce. I'm gonna be as polite as I can and say it that way.
I agree with everything you just said, but I'm gonna take it a step further back. They should never fire Bud. The man's brother died during the playoff series.
Yeah, his brother died. That's insane.
And then you fired the man. And Giannis was hurt. And Chris Middleton had just got back from surgery. You didn't even give that man a fair chance to keep his job. And that right there, what we're seeing right here, right now, is the fallout from that. Because if Bud is still there, you probably get a more motivated Giannis. Drew probably don't go nowhere. You never get Dame. And maybe you get a different wing. You probably get more out of these young wings that are sitting on the bench with Bud than you are right now with Doc.
I don't remember if Bud played younger players or not, so I can't necessarily speak on that part.
He was giving Beauchamp some run.
Bud has his own flaws. The Suns are 5-1 with Bud, by the way.
Yep.
But he has his own flaws. He's too predictable in the playoffs. That's part of it.
Hey.
So if we really want to do it, they
at least get there. The Bucks ain't looking like this. They ain't gonna get there.
Yeah, they're not gonna get there. But they probably shouldn't have fired Adrian Griffin. Now, we don't know. We don't know. We've seen one guy get replaced in midseason, David Blatt to Ty Lue, and they won a chip that year. But these moves generally don't work out like that.
But Ty Lue was on the bench with them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
right?
Ty Lue was on the bench with them.
Right.
Yes.
You brought in a complete outsider.
Right. He wasn't even coaching. He was at home. And I think at some point, we're gonna have to sit down and analyze, because I don't want to simplify to just Doc blows these playoff leads. I think that's too reductive.
Okay.
But there's something to the fact that always happens with his strategy, his scheme. It's something to that as to why that continues to happen. It's not all injury luck. It's not all shooting luck and all of those kind of things. It's happened too much for that at this point.
I know what else is happening. You got Torian Prince and Gary Trent on your roster. Starting.
Oh my God.
Starting.
Please don't get me started.
Starting and playing heavy minutes.
Yeah.
Heavy minutes.
Yeah, Gary Trent is one of my least favorite players in the. I just.
He's 1 for 7 tonight. 20 minutes. 1 for 7. Over 3 for 3. Negative 19. By far the worst player on the floor.
I
Negative
can't.
19? How are
Yeah.
you a negative 19? You only play 20 minutes.
Well,
How is that possible?
I mean, single game plus minus doesn't always tell the story. I'll also
I
say
promise
though.
you, it's telling the story today.
I'll also say though, what's insane because the Bucks are up 7 now. In a game that you're winning by 7 points, you're a minus 19. That is absolutely insane. Like that right there, that's it. Yeah.
And
Again,
your boy, Torian Prince, he a -8.
I like Torian Prince. I don't like him as a starter. He's only played 14 minutes tonight, and that's probably why.
Thank God.
Yeah, Gary Trent needs to Gary Trent got to go. He got to go. The Bucks.
Here's a good question for you right there. Did I get too
What's
much
up,
credit
Mike?
for that Celtics chip? What up, Mike?
I don't know. How much credit is he getting?
Well, that Celtics chip is the reason why he keep getting these jobs.
Okay. Well, if we remember, the Celtics were underwhelming as a playoff team.
Yes.
They went to 7 in the first round with the Hawks. The Hawks won 38 games. Why are you going 7 with them? Then they went 7 with the Cavs, who were more, it was LeBron and there were some, but they were favored over them, and they went 7.
They went 7.
And it took Paul Pierce scoring 41 for them to win.
To get them out of that.
It
also took Delonte West. Can't forget about that.
Stop. That was the next year. That was 09-10.
Well,
that was 09-10. No, that was 07. No, that was 07-08.
07-08?
Yep.
It's probably started then.
Okay. Okay. The point is that something about Doc's coaching where his teams consistently underachieve in the postseason.
Yeah.
And with different teams, different sets of players, but with him as the coach, it happens. And again, it's not all injury and shooting luck and all of that. It's not. It's not. So, as a coach, Stretch, what is it that you're seeing that's the reason for this?
The reason why the Bucks are trash, or the reason why he get credit for the Celtics chip?
I mean, the reason why they underachieve, yes. I don't know how much credit he gets. I think he deserves a fair bit of credit.
Okay, so here's my thing, and I've noticed this about Doc for a while now. It became more blaring, like an eyesore when he was with Philadelphia. He doesn't adjust. He has no plan B. Whatever his game plan is for that game or for that series, that's what it is all the way through. He does not adjust. And I think towards the end of his Celtic career, when guys started to leave, and guys started getting older, that became more and more evident. He didn't adjust. When he was with the Clippers, there was no adjustments. Like, you could have easily got Blake on the move. You could have played one of them. You could have went small ball. Like, there were so many things you could have done, and instead of doing any of that, you did none of that.
You could have staggered your starters. Why are you playing all your starters together all the time?
All the time. Like, he did none of that. Like, you left DeAndre on the floor too long in too many series.
His flaw is that he trusts his players too much. He trusts them too much.
And sometimes, as a former player, you want your coach to trust you. But as a coach, that trust wear out because my job is to win. And you could be upset with me, you can be, whatever, but my job is to win. And that's that.
That really crystallized for me when the Nuggets came back 3-1 against the Clippers, and he had Montrezl Harrell guarding Jokic.
You deserve to lose.
With Zubac, who's actually probably the best Jokic defender, and I didn't get that.
You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. They're now. I'm pulling for them. I kind of like Dame, but man, this is bad. This is bad. Let me see. In other sport drama news, we got some KD versus Stephen A. going on.
You got video?
No, but I will on Wednesday. I'm gonna get the video.
Because Stephen A. responded tonight.
Really? On his pod or
on his pod?
Oh boy. Oh boy. So can you just give the people just a brief synopsis of it? We don't want to give too much away because we're definitely gonna dive into this on Wednesday.
I mean, more or less, Stephen A. taking shots to KD. KD called him a clown. And he said, you hold us to standards you don't even hold yourself to. That's what KD said.
Yeah.
Stephen A. responded on First Take, and then he responded again on his pod. We'll say that for Wednesday.
Yeah.
But
let's start with the baseline.
Yeah.
Is that true what KD said?
I think it's something to it. Because I think from KD's perspective, what he's saying is that, or at least the way that I perceived it, is that, bro, you don't know enough basketball to be talking about us the way you do.
Okay.
You up there and you screaming these platitudes and you pushing these agendas, but then you'll soften it by saying, well, Kevin Durant is one of the best players in league history, which he is, and that's good that Stephen A. recognizes that, and that shouldn't go unnoticed.
Right.
But then you'll follow it up by saying that that's the weakest superstar move in NBA history.
Yeah, he keeps going back to that. Yep.
Or, you got to win without Steph, or you're not a leader, and things like that. And I mean, look, it's all opinion anyway.
Right.
But from Kevin Durant's perspective, he's just like, bro, like, you don't know enough basketball. You don't be in these locker rooms. Stephen A. did say that he has seen me in locker rooms before. But Durant is saying you're not in these locker rooms enough with me to be having these opinions about basketball and leadership and things like that. I'm not a big fan of Stephen A. I'm not a big fan of any of those people up there who mouth breathe and don't watch enough tape and don't watch enough basketball. But they push agendas. I'm not a big fan of those guys in general, any of them.
Right.
But I think that's my thing, dog. Like, I understand Kevin Durant's perspective. I do. If I had to pick a side, it would probably be KD's.
Okay.
You?
I'm a little indifferent on it right now.
Okay.
I think as a sportscaster or reporter, which he was at one point in time, I think he's entitled to have that opinion. And if he has the facts that go with it, push it. You know what I'm saying? But as a former player and, as someone that's still in locker rooms, you know what I'm saying, as a coach, you can't just call a guy weak, man. You can't question his leadership skills like that, man. Like, certain things, in my opinion, just unless you have concrete evidence, you just can't say those things, man. Because that becomes a negative narrative push And those are the things that we need to eliminate or eradicate from sports, in my opinion. Just a senseless, opinionated mess with no facts behind it. He's a bad leader. Okay, well, what do you see that makes him a bad leader? What has he shown that says that he's a bad leader?
To be fair, though, he did say he doesn't. He did say a while ago he didn't want to be a leader, but that was a while ago.
Right. I mean, I understand that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. But you know, catch me on Wednesday. I'll probably have a different opinion.
Oh, you're gonna have a different opinion. I already know you will. I already know you will.
Oh man.
By the way, your Lakers are losing to the Pistons by 18. I just wanted you to know that.
On the way to piss me off before the end of the night, huh, Stats?
I mean, listen, yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. Well, I did, but
just find a way.
Yeah. But yeah.
I see what I'll be screaming at the freaking TV all freaking night long for the rest. Thanks a lot.
By the way, the Cavs came back and they're winning by 2.
No surprise there. Okay, here we go. KD gets mad at anyone who gives him a bad criticism. It doesn't matter the background of the person. They say KD is a little thin-skinned. And that probably is accurate.
But I don't like when we call players like sensitive. Like, so are players just supposed to sit there and let people just
that part? I don't think that's fair. I don't.
You feel what I'm saying?
Like, good night, Miss Diggs.
Good night, Miss Diggs. Like that's a serious question. Like, because it's easy, and I'm not speaking specifically about Mike, but I'm just saying in general, it's easy for people who aren't on that stage to say you should let us talk about you.
Right.
But I mean, look, we're coaches, and if I would say so I can speak to how I would react to certain things. If somebody was if there was a TBVL like type first take show and they just talk about our league and they criticize you, because I mean you're gonna get most of it because you're the head coach. Right. But if they criticize you, me, Sterling, PJ, whoever, the players, like, okay, I'm listening first to see, okay, did you watch the game?
Right.
Do you have a basketball background?
Right.
Right. Do you know what you're talking about?
Right.
Like, if you have okay, I understand that. I may not agree, but I understand. But like, if you just up there mouth breathing, then no, I'm personally not gonna like that. I'm not, because like now you just trying to get clicks. And again, I get it. That's the day and age that we in right now. I get it. But I'm not gonna personally like that if you doing that, because like you don't know enough to be doing that.
I agree with that. All right. Well, we'll leave it there, man. Wednesday night, we're back to our regularly scheduled programming. Wednesday, we talk Cowboys. Dak and CD are both injured. We talk more KD versus Stephen A. We also talk Lakers news and updates. And we have a brand new segment called Give Me That Bread Back. Stats, you'll like that one.
No, I won't. Are we gonna say who our
we guest? Also talk Joel Embiid.
Stop. Are we gonna say who our guest is, or we no?
Yes, absolutely. And we will have in our Neptune segment, we will have the Virginia Neptune starting point guard, Cam Baker, who just came off an outstanding game this past Saturday in Savannah. And hopefully we'll have a couple pictures maybe, since somebody didn't film the game. Huh. So
Jesus Christ. Like, you know, you was doing so good. You really were. You're doing really good. Shout out to Cam.
Shout out to Cam, man. Had a great game, man. Throw up for today. Stats, you got one?
No, I don't.
Right. I do.
No, I do not. Actually, you know what? I did have one. Love
All
on
right,
the
what
people.
you got, Stats?
Love on the people who love you, man. Don't waste time with a bunch of nonsense. Love on the people who love you, man. It's that simple for me.
All right. Here's the thought for today, man. Since it's election day eve, and this just goes for everything else, man, that's in your control. That's in your control. If you don't change it, or if you don't do nothing about it, don't complain about it. So, for Statman AJT, I'm Coach Stretch. Be relentless in all that you do, man. We will see you all on Wednesday night. We out of here. Peace. Yes, sir.
You can shake up the scene, you ain't getting streams. I make it look good, yeah, I make it look easy. I let it be, I'm a better me. I don't really care, been like this for years. Cause I don't really, never did, never will. Ever let you get inside the whip. Catch us hitting sideways, sliding around with a drip for that mango. Tangos couldn't get a pick. I be quick, I be slick when I push form with. I be zoning with my shit.